What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Exchange for another episode, a very special episode, one we're super excited to do. It's a long time coming. It's been way too long. We've wanted to talk about everything from Celebration so much sooner, but man, life has been hectic for the both of us. But yeah, finally we're here to talk all things Star Wars Celebration, of course. Mike and
Anaheim.
I, as everyone knows, we went to the event. 4 days, pretty crazy. So much news, so much happening. So, before I start talking, Mike, how are you today?
Dude, I'm doing great. It's kind of crazy how we've been talking about celebration since like February, March, and now we lived through it. We went to it, and
Yeah,
now we're here talking about like all the news roundup and everything that happened, and it's kind of just surreal in a way. But yeah, as always, I'm excited to be here. And I know Ari, last time we talked to you, you were in a cafe. It looked like or something. Tell us what's going
yeah,
on with you.
true. I should say I'm currently in New York, staying with my brother. So that's where I am. I'm going to be here for the next couple of weeks. So you'll see this kind of, no offense to my brother, boring background. There's nothing up.
It's the guest room. It's the guest room.
Yeah, it's the guest room. So really doing the best I can here. But at least I've got my light, my camera, everything's back. Where last time I was in the hotel lobby with uh with not much. But here we are, ready to do all celebration. So just to clarify, this episode we're talking all the news. We in a separate episode. Sorry about my camera, by the way. In a separate episode, we'll be talking, our experience, all sorts of things. What it was like meeting each other for the first time, what it was like experience celebration for the first time from my perspective, what was it like from that second time from Mike's perspective, and all the crazy stuff that happened, because truly there was so much stuff that went on. It was insane. But we will talk about that in a separate this episode, all news, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I guess let's just get into it. We'll go from Mando, Ahsoka, Andor, Jedi Survivor, Tales of the Jedi, the Bad Batch, and a few extra little bits as well at the end. So let's start off with the Mandalorian. Now, keep in mind when we're talking through all this news, there's no one better to listen to than me and Mike, because we were in every single panel that that's relevant. I guess we were in the Mando one, we were in the Bad Batch, we were in the showcase, we were in Tales of the Jedi. We were there for everything. So all those exclusive trailers, we saw them all. Even though I'm gonna be honest, you can probably go watch them all online. They've all leaked. We were there, seeing them in the flesh, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. Anyway, Mandalorian. We got a mixture of information from the Lucasfilm showcase and from the Mando Plus panel. Long story short, February 2023 is the release. Season 4 confirmed to be happening, so season 3 will not be the last. They'll continue pushing. Not much news there. We kind of expected that. And of course, a trailer. We saw sort of the first half of it in the showcase, and then they extended it in that Mando Plus panel. The highlights were Bo-Katan on the throne. That's sort of the iconic image of the trailer, at least in my mind. I'm sure it is in yours. We saw Mando's in action. We saw our first look at a destructed Mandalore in live action, which was awesome. We saw Navarro again. It's looking very clean. We saw familiar characters in Carson Teva, Grief Karga, Dr. Pershing, and Pelimoto. And we also saw a tree full of Kowak. Oh my God. I'm not saying this, Mike. You can fill it in later.
Kowakian.
Yeah, there we go. Kowakian monkey lizards, tree full of them, which was very cool. And then some of Babu Frick species, which I had to look it up. I didn't actually know it. They're called Anzalans or something along those lines. Mike can correct me once again. But yeah, so lots to unpack here. Mike, what were your thoughts on all the Mando stuff that went on during Celebration?
Yeah, when we sat there and we for the exclusive trailer for the first one for the Lucasfilm showcase, I wasn't necessarily blown away. I was like, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah,
I'm liking what I'm seeing. Bo-Katan on the throne was definitely, as you were saying, it was, I think, the highlight for me. I was like, whoa, because they're setting her up to be really the antagonist of the season. And once we sat down for the Mando Plus panel and we're like, oh, cool, the trailer again. Let's experience this again. They played an extended version where then we saw Star Destroyers, kind of like a Exegol looking type place. It looked like they were like Star Destroyers were being put back in production. And then we also got like all the Kowakian monkey lizards and all that stuff. And we got some really cool space battles where I feel seen, I feel validated because for so long people were upset about the Razor Crest, and I'm like, I feel like because if you recall, and I think I said it on the pod before, but if you recall in seasons 1 and 2 when they try to do like space battles and with the Razor Crest, it just looks so clunky because the ship is very awkward, it's very bulky. It's nothing like the Ghost. So it's just like when they would do rotations, it would just like it was just I don't know, it was awkward for me. And I'm like, I feel like they destroyed it. And they're gonna give Mando like a smaller ship, slimmer ship, and just to do space battles. I think they're gonna really bring that to the forefront in the coming seasons. And then guess what? They gave him the Naboo starfighter, and then in the trailer, guess what? We saw amazing space battles that are no joke.
Hell yeah.
They look like we were watching something out of like Force Awakens or something. Like they look that good. So I'm excited. And for y'all wondering, it wasn't necessarily against TIE fighters or something. It looked like he was going up against pirates or other bounty hunters or some. Don't know, but I'm very intrigued. And yeah, everyone, you should have heard everyone in the room when we saw destroyed Mandalore. Everybody was just like,
Yeah.
ooh, it was, yeah, it's really cool. Bo-Katan looking out of some window. Like it's just, ooh, the trailer was good. Trailer was good. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Um, Ari, do you have any thoughts? I mean, we sat
Yeah.
next to each other during all of these, and we
Yeah,
both
I know
were
it's
screaming. But
crazy. I can't wait to talk about that. There's something you just mentioning, like how everyone's like was like, ooh, it's like there's all these iconic sounds that the crowd makes at celebration. Obviously, it's just cheering, laughing, all that. But then like just like that intrigue noise, absolutely love it. But yeah, no, the Mando stuff I found it all very cool. My hype, not gonna lie, went down for Mando season 3 after Book of Boba Fett. So was just sort of like, I'm just excited to see John Favreau and Dave Filoni in the flesh for the first time. But no, that these trailers got me extremely hyped. I agree. The first part of it, I was like, okay, it looks good, nothing crazy. And then that second part, I think when me and you like collectively realized, oh, this is new footage, we were both sort of looking at each other like, and then like everything that was going on was just crazy. Like from the Mandalore thing was like iconic, yeah, Bo-Katan. But overall, I think my hype for Mando season 3 has been rejuvenated, and the release date Feb 2023. Kind of disappointed that it's not in like this big blockbuster Star Wars TV year, but at the same time, now that they've said Tales of the Jedi is coming out this year, so will Bad Batch, so will Andor. There's so much going on. I'm kind of like, you know what? That's good. Let's give Mando its own space to breathe in when it wants to come out, and take
yeah,
your time with it. Do all that. So yeah, overall excited for it. Mike, fill us in on what's going on with the Ahsoka series.
yeah. So we also got a sneak peek at this during the Mando Plus panel. We did get like a short video in during the Lucasfilm showcase, and it was just Rosario Dawson from the set of Ahsoka. For that one, she couldn't join us. But oh my gosh, she had her Laku had been extended. That was great. But Rosario Dawson did join us the following days to join us for the Mando Plus panel. But yeah,
Yep.
we got some exclusive trailer there. I think me and Ari
Uh,
just freaking went off the rails with that one. That was insane. That was the moment for me, I think, at Celebration. But
mm, mm.
geez, we got Sabine. We got news that she has been recast as by Natasha Lou Bordizzo. And then we also learned in the Ahsoka show that we will be seeing our old pals, our favorite friends, Hera, Chopper, and also the Ghost will appear. And it's also looking for a 2023 release. And then yeah, the teaser was shown, and we got a Huang looking guy up in there. Then we also got the awesome, iconic Rebel season finale mural, and then also the Ezra Hunt has been confirmed. So yeah, we got all that, and it was definitely I felt like it was a roller coaster in terms of like there was just a peak where we hit with the momentum of that trailer, and then some things just fell down for me. But Ari, I mean, you were sitting next to me. What did you experience with all this news coming in? And you want to tell people our reactions to everything?
Oh yeah, I mean, you couldn't have put it better. Absolute roller coaster. Ahsoka for me is just like where it's at because it's that Rebels continuation. I think Mike's pretty similar. It's that Rebels continuation we want. So, um, when they started talking about it, I was like, oh my God, here we go. This is going to be crazy. So I had so many emotions. First of all, the teaser was great. The fact that they're only like 3 weeks into shooting and like that's the sort of footage they've already got, I cannot wait for this series. It looks so good. And I actually watched one of the leaked teasers in preparation for this episode. It just doesn't do it justice. Like when you were there in the room, just looking at how nice everything looked, like it looks fantastic. But yeah, Ezra being like that hunt being confirmed, because obviously that's sort of where we thought it was going, but that being confirmed is great. Hera, Chopper, Ghost, perfect. Kind of just really shows like, yeah, this is that Rebels continuation we want. And yeah, so that was all hype when we saw the mural. Me, you, our buddy True, just going absolutely crazy. We were loving it. But then they said, and now we're going to bring out Sabine Wren herself, and we were sort of like, oh, okay, here we go, Tia Sakar. But no, yeah, as you said, being recast, which I mean, we've talked about it a fair bit together, and we did a little editorial. By the way, we did 3 editorials for Celebration, as in just smaller YouTube videos. So go check those out for our sort of, they're more like reactions to what's going on. That's just us hitting record after the panels going crazy. But yeah, pretty disappointed by that. I love Tia Sakar. I think she would have done a fantastic live action Sabine, but got to give Natasha a chance because already it's like she's going in, 10 steps behind because the whole fandom, well, not the whole fandom, at least a section of it is like, oh, we want to tee up. So in that sense, a little bit disappointed. I really wish they went with Tia, but they haven't, and we're just gonna have to move on and hope that Natasha can bring to Sabine what Tia did as well. So
Right.
yeah, and I also love that they just were like, you know what, the Leku too short. Let's just make them a bit longer. It's an easy fix, and they've done it. So I appreciate that. The Hu Yang looking droid. I don't know if it actually is him. I hope it is. It'll be cool. But yeah, I just thought we should bring that up. And yeah, I think that nothing that we saw in a panel got the reaction that mural did at the end.
Yeah.
Because I just thought they were just going to show that in my, well, that was what was going on in my head. They're just going to show the mural, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
sort of just hyping up Ezra, and then a live action Sabine walks into the shot, and everyone in that room was just going off. So
it was insane.
Yeah, it was one of the best moments of the whole convention. But yeah, Mike, what did you think of all the Ahsoka news?
Yeah, I definitely wasn't expecting it because Dave Filoni was like, listen, it's all rough, very rough stuff.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, it's probably just going to be an image.
So did Jon Favreau with the Mando stuff.
Yeah, both of them were underselling what they got, which was good because then they wouldn't have gotten the reaction that they did from us.
Yeah.
But that's what they were pitching to us, was like, it's very rough. Like we're only 3 weeks into production. Like, and I thought we were going to see a still, because at first they just showed like, just an image or whatever. And then I'm like, oh shoot, they're actually showing, I thought that it was going to, maybe they were going to pull Rogue One on us, where it was like a sizzle reel behind the scenes, like they did back in at the last celebration or for London. But oh my gosh, that was insane. I think we were seeing the back of Hera and being like, oh my god, that's Hera, and she looked like she was in her squadron's get up, so that was great. Love the consistency there, and everything looked great. So Ahsoka looked like she was on her own mission type deal. She came across like this mysterious rock with engravings on it, and I'm like, ooh, what's that about? What's that? And at the end, the mural comes on. It's like, oh yeah, okay, they pulled that still from Rebels. But then, as Arya said, you get that Sabine walking into frame, and it's like, whoa, that's live action. Like, whoa, this is crazy. So yeah, I think True and we both broke Ari because we were both just he was in between us and we're just jumping on him. But
God.
that was
great moment though. Great moment. I'll never forget that. We've got like part of the reaction on camera, which we can't show because the trailer's in the shot, and if we show the trailer, we'll get banned or whatever. But one day, that's when we retire. But no, but it was surreal, and as you said, the pirate footage doesn't do it justice. Just being in that room, obviously, it's a different energy than watching even on a live stream. But man, just I can't believe how many people went crazy, and to round up the Rebels discussion, that weekend Rebels got so much love. It was insane to someone as Ari and I that
really started our accounts in the Rebels era, seeing how much like hatred was thrown towards that show at the very beginning to where it is now, people like giving, when at the mention of Rebels, people would like stand up and yell and stuff like I did. It's just insane. It's insane. And now seeing that this, they're moving the story into live action, even though I'm like, no, keep in animation. It's still, they're moving it to that to that level of Mandalorian. It's like I would have never imagined that. So kudos to Ahsoka, kudos to whatever they're doing. I'm hyped to see it. And as we said earlier, 2023 release. So I'm excited for that. And you guys know what else is coming out in 2023? Andor, and Ari's going to fill us in on some of the things going on with that.
Yeah. Well, hopefully season 2 is coming out in 2023. Season 1 is coming out in August.
Oh, wait. You're right. Why am I getting my years confused? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, we might get Andor in 2023. I like where you're going with that.
I would love that.
Yeah. But no, so Andor, all that news came in the Lucasfilm showcase. Diego Luna came out, Tony Gilroy, a bunch of other cast members. It was a load of fun. August 31st, we're getting a 2-episode premiere. And then on top of that, Tony Gilroy talked about the series as a whole and what it's actually going to do. So he confirmed, despite the rumor saying 3 seasons, this is a 2-season show. Each season will consist of 12 episodes, and season 1 is going to take place 5 years before Rogue One and cover a 1-year time period. And then the second season will take place over 4 years, covering, I guess, the rest, and will lead us right into Rogue One, which I absolutely love. I love that's the definition of filling in the gaps right there that take us all the way there. So I absolutely love that. We got a trailer, which thank God they actually put out. They had to put one of these out. So they put the Andor one out. We saw Mon Mothma, my favorite thing of the trailer. We saw the Imperial Senate, which I think that's the first time we've seen it on the screen. And then we got clones, which was very interesting, kind of hints towards some flashbacks. But overall, everything just looked brand new. It looked super refreshing. So excited for this series. It baffles me, the random hate that it gets for a show that hasn't even come out yet. But Diego Luna, by the way, is just the best. His energy is just infectious. As soon as he came out, onto the stage, everyone was just going crazy. And what a funny man and what a talented actor. So I can't wait to see him back in Cassian Andor's boots. But Mike, what did you think of all this Andor stuff? I know you can't wait for this show, and you also love Cassian, love Diego, I should say. But what do you think?
One of the same. Diego Luna received standing ovation. What I love is when they get actors who are just excited to be on screen as we are to see them. And Diego is just one who just lives it up for that. He is just one that absolutely loves talking about Star Wars, loves being in the room of people talking about Star Wars. So love Diego Luna. And obviously he's also Mexican, so that plays a factor. Seeing him up there, it's like, oh man, that's my blood up there, if you will. It's amazing. And I think what we saw of Andor just looked like Star Wars that's never been. It looked like we were doing like sci-fi, if anything. Like there were some shots that just reminded me of George Lucas's early work in what's his THX 1138, his film. It reminded me of shots from that, and it looks so surreal. Where it was,
I have to say, it's a great call. Haven't heard anyone say that yet, but that is a great call from you.
The
about George Lucas,
Oh yeah, that's what it reminded me of. And there's a specific shot where it was like it's a long wide shot where it's just like a long table and it's black and white, and it just reminded me of that scenery. But man, definitely, Andor looks amazing. When I watched the trailer, I'm like, why can't Lucasfilm put out more amazing trailers like this? Starts off with the dude hitting the bells, and I was like, oh man, that. And it was a repetitious vibe or like beat throughout the whole trailer. And Andor was barely in the trailer, and it was just amazing. It was, I mean, you said it, the Imperial Galactic Senate. I'm like, show us this, because we've heard all about the Imperial Senate, but we've never been here. So that was amazing. And there's just transports, Imperial transports, flying into towns. It just gave off that Jedi Rogue One energy. And every time we were on Jedha and seeing TIE fighters swoop down and into the like civilian areas, epic, and that's exactly what this trailer gave me. And oh man, the fact that they brought out also Tony Gilroy, who was like, never a Star Wars fan, I'm not into Star Wars, and that he's back, and they also got him to pitch his project to us at Celebration. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, he gave us.
Can I just say as well on
Yeah.
Tony Gilroy, they asked him, so what can you tell us about Andor? And he's just like, no, I don't really feel like saying anything, to be honest. You guys can all just watch it. I was like, you know what? That sounds good to me.
Love his energy as well. That you had
Yeah.
Diego Luna, who was like, I'm so happy to be here. And then you had Tony Gilroy, who was like,
For real.
I'm here. So good balance. But no, for real, Andor looks amazing. And I cannot wait till it premieres on August 31st. And yeah, we're getting 2 episodes. So that's gonna be epic. And oh man, that's gonna stretch us out for the whole year. Once it debuts, that's oh man. So yeah, Andor looks special, and I'm glad they did a right call by releasing the trailer to everyone, since we are close to the release date. Just so everyone can get on that hype level. And seeing clone troopers there, digging into, we got a whole bunch of also details of Cassian when you and I covered the article not too long ago. Right before Celebration, before all the madness, we got to cover details about that. So check out our episode on that, because we broke down Andor pretty well, and it's gonna start off, destruction of his homeworld. So we're really gonna dig into the character and his roots with maybe political affiliation. So yeah, Andor, as I think everyone has been saying, I think it looks great. So I'm so excited, and also it's gonna tie into Rogue One. I don't know. Could we see familiar Rogue One characters at the end of season 2? Maybe that'd be cool. That'd be a cool reunion. Yeah, that'd be something.
Definitely possible. Yeah, and I can't add anything to that. That's exactly how I feel. Something I just wanted to bring up real quick though is I think me and Mike, a little bit before Celebration, everything was just getting annoying. Like in terms of like how would you say, like the marketing, the communication from Lucasfilm, the content, everything was just feeling a bit but this has just got me so excited. I'm absolutely loving Obi-Wan right now. The next series that comes out, Andor, looks incredible. We got Bad Batch and Tales of the Jedi coming out this fall. And then, Mando season 3 next year looks great. Jedi Survivor, like, oh my God. Like, just want to say I'm feeling so much better just about the future of Star Wars in general. But I just mentioned it, Jedi Survivor. Mike, when we were in the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary panel, boom. that just randomly dropped. So halfway through the panel, me, you, and True all sitting there on our phones trying to, make a post about it. But tell us about that trailer and all that was revealed.
Yeah, I don't even know how I found out about this, but it was we were just
you just nudged me. You were like, "Oh, yeah, Jedi Survivor trailer." I was like, "Oh,
I nudged him.
I just wanted to enjoy the panel
because Tamora Morrison was giving off a great performance in that Attack of the Clones. It was his panel. So we were there, and I did nudge. I saw I got on Instagram real quick because we were covering the panel, and then I see, I'm like, wait, then I nudged True, who was sitting next to me, and then I nudged Ari, and I was like, dude, they just dropped the trailer. What are we gonna do? So that was pretty epic. And we addressed the rumors on this very podcast about if they would even talk about Jedi the Fallen Order sequel, and we're like, we don't know, because there's no panel for it, so maybe not. But they did it during the Celebration the live stream, so there's that. So they did confirm a 2023 release date. The game picks up 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order, and the same, because of the timeline, it's going to coincide with Obi-Wan Kenobi, same time period. So in that trailer, it was I would probably say it just felt more of an announcement trailer than anything. So it was just vague in all the aspects and stuff, and it just didn't tell us much about the story. But we got a cool looking Pawn.
I think I wrote that wrong on the run sheet. Is it a Powan?
Oh yeah,
it's the Grand Inquisitor species.
Yeah, it's Powan. Yeah. All right, why did I say Powan? Oh, maybe it's because
I must have wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, it's all right.
Behind the scenes of Stars Exchange right here.
not my behind the scenes, the other guy. we got the I can't even say it now. But we got you know what we're talking about. We got
what we're talking about.
You know what we're talking about. Which everyone thought was the Grand Inquisitor, but no, it's actually a senator, as StarWars.com reported. He has Cal Saber, and it's back to single blade, as it's noted. So Also, Cal went up against somebody holding a red lightsaber. Who is that? There's reports that it's Maul. There's reports that it's another Inquisitor. Who could it be? And then at the end of the trailer, we see someone in a bacta tank who I thought was Marin at first, and I'm like, "What's going on? You
Mm,
saved Cal in the water, and now you're being drowned. What's going on? What's going on?" So,
yeah.
not actually Marin; it's someone else. People have alluded to things and characters and concepts from the expanded universe, the non-canon one from Legends. But yeah, I'm curious as to what people think. And Ari, I mean, we didn't even really talk about this trailer because we were so busy with covering everything else. I mean, what did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, there was so much going on. This kind of was just like just dropped into the news cycle and barely even stayed there. So
Yeah.
I once Celebration wrapped up, I got a chance to sit down, watch it a few times properly. But overall, I kind of just have the same thoughts on this as I have everything. I just think, wow, that looks awesome. I can't wait to learn more. I can't wait to play it. But yeah, I'm interested to see what that senator is all about and what that connection is with Cal and how to get his lightsaber and does that senator having Cal's lightsaber mean we're not going to have it when we're playing the game? Why is it back to a single player? It just more is just like throwing all these questions out there for us to be like, okay, I wonder what's going on there. And
Right.
then the back to tank person seems to be the biggest discussion point, and I have absolutely no theories of what it is. Like genuinely no theories. Besides that, it could be like just a Jedi who's been sitting there for a while or something like that. Who yeah, well, I guess the game is called Jedi Survivor, so it could be a Jedi Survivor. But just thought of that on the spot. Anyways, but yeah, so more just asking questions. As you said, it was very vague, which it should be. It's more of an announcement, as you said. But I'm interested to see if the fact that this lines up with the Kenobi timeline is going to mean anything. Could we see Cal and Kenobi in the next 3 episodes? That would be very interesting. But yeah, I kind of like that they're jumping 5 years ahead. I don't know why, but I probably wouldn't have thought they would have done that. But when they said that, I was just like, okay, I actually like that. I think that's a good move from them. But Mike, I know you love Fallen Order. So what are you what are your thoughts on this trailer? And are you excited for Jedi Survivor?
Well, it was finally cool to get when they actually announced that there's gonna be the next installment in the Jedi series, everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's not gonna be Fallen Order, it's gonna be something else." And I was like, "No, no, 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 it's fine. It's gonna be the sequel." And that's what it is here. It's just I love that they first of all, the name sounds great, Fallen
Mm,
Order and now it's Survivor. And I think what you said, I think I heard someone else say too about Jedi Survivor, not actually Survivor being Cal, but whoever the
mm,
hell's in the tank. So
yeah.
I'm very interested by that. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, I watched it. You know what? I took my headphones. These lucky guys, love them. I took my headphones in just because sometimes things could get overwhelming with noise, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "What if I need them?" So I was like, "I'll just pack them in my book bag just in case."
Mm.
And I just threw them in there just for that day only. And what do you know? We're sitting there, and I pulled out my headphones and I listened through One Piece, and Star Wars True was sitting next to me, Star Wars dude, and
Star
I was
Wars True.
I Star
That's
Wars
our
True.
guy.
I gave him the other piece of my headphone. I was like, here, and we both watched the trailer with sound together, and I was like, oh my god. But yeah, I mean, it again felt more of an announcement trailer. I mean, this is coming to future generation consoles. I'm excited to see what's going on with Cal. Is the Mantis gang okay? Because it looked like a pretty
Yeah.
depleted and empty
Looks run down,
Mantis.
that's for sure.
Uh, no one was there. I hope the Boglings are okay in there. The stowaways. Yeah, I'm curious. There's been rumors about. I mean, I love the Boglings.
The
I'm curious
Buglings.
as to how Marin will play into the story. How Seer, if they're
We didn't actually see Marin or Seer or
or
you know the name. Come on.
agrees.
Yep, I was quizzing you. Definitely didn't blank on it.
And BD1, we didn't wait. Oh no, we saw BD1, but
Yeah.
we didn't see Grease. We didn't
Yeah.
see our gang. So I wonder if they're okay. We saw Bogano. Bogano looked kind of the same. Wonder if we'll be back there. But
Great
yeah, I
planet.
mean, I am I am curious as to why they did a 5-year time jump. If anything, it's exciting though because that means we could get like 500 Marvel comic series about Cal Kestis
Exactly.
in
Exactly.
between the games, and
Yeah.
maybe a little TV show. Hey, Jedi Tale season 2. What do you know? But let's get Ezra and Cal up in there. That would be
Oh
great.
hell yeah! Come on now. No, don't say that. Now
What?
expectations are just way too high now.
No, we're gonna get another round of Ahsoka episodes. I love
Yeah.
Dave Filoni, but
Yeah.
but yeah, that this 5 year time jump feels very weird to me, but feels right. It feels wow,
Mm,
we could have played
I
more with the
agree.
Inquisitor aspect. We could have played more with this aspect since we're fresh off Revenge of the Sith. But guess what? We're gonna jump closer to the time of A New Hope. So let's see what foes are out there, and as we move closer to that time period and as Kenobi, like what's going on there? Is Vader on the hunt for Cal? Is he not? Is he too busy with Obi-Wan? Does that take him out of the playing field?
Mm,
We don't know. All I can say is, yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, I'm a Fallen Order fan. Don't know when this game will come out. I've heard spring. We've heard spring,
yeah.
2023. So hopefully that's the case, and we don't have to wait all the way till like November, like last time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully it's in spring. That would be great. So
Mm.
yeah, that's my
What's the
take
bet
on
they
it.
drop it like during celebration next year?
I would,
You just
well,
know they're
actually,
gonna.
well, we'll talk about celebration later, but
Yeah.
that would be great because guess what? I won't be there. So it's just, I would have to be like, yeah, I'm gonna miss that panel. But yeah,
Yeah.
that would be, in classic Star Wars, they would definitely do that.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
speaking of classiness and Jedi and all that,
Mm,
and actually we just mentioned it, Tales of the Jedi.
yeah.
Ari, kick us off.
Tales of the Jedi, man, what a panel that was. That was crazy. Let us tell you everything that we learnt. So season 1 will be 6 episodes. Hopefully season 1 and not the only season. Let's hope this goes on. Sounds like it definitely will and should. But yeah, so there's 3 episodes on Ahsoka and 3 episodes on Count Dooku featuring a young Qui-Gon. Now you might be wondering who's going to play Qui-Gon, and yes, you're right. Liam Neeson is reprising his role. However, his son is also playing the younger version. I'm not sure exactly how that works, if they're blending the voices or if it's 2 different versions of Qui-Gon, but we'll see. Very happy to hear that. And this will release this year in fall 2022, which is awesome. And Mike and I were very, very lucky. Thank God we went to this panel. I mean, we always planned on it, but not only did we see an exclusive trailer, Dave Filoni sat there and said, you know what, guys, I'm just going to show you a whole episode. So we have watched, I assume, episode 1 of Tales of the Jedi. And yeah, I should have told you this before we started recording, but we're not going to spoil that episode. We'll talk very briefly on what it was about. But it was an Ahsoka episode. And yeah, this Dave Filoni, this man wants to cover all of Ahsoka's life because this is about Ahsoka's birth, pretty much. So you guys are going to learn about that when it comes out. The episode's called Life and Death. Overall, Michael'll say his thoughts in a second, but overall, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It's very artistic. It's different. Don't get your hopes up for. I'm sure other episodes will be, but this episode's not sort of like lightsabers running around. It's very subtle, very symbolic, and as I said, artistic. And I really liked it. It just says it has Dave Filoni written all over it. So I can't wait to watch the final 5 episodes of the series. But yeah, looks great. And on the trailer, the animation is just beautiful. It looks so good. It looks like Bad Batch, but back in Clone Wars, even better. It's fantastic. And the whole thing just looks like extra Clone Wars episodes, which is what we all want pretty much. We all love Clone Wars. Even seeing Matt Lanter back, a young Anakin, and even some cheeky cameos in the trailer from Tera Sinube and Yaddle, which Yaddle got a massive cheer, which I just love.
Yeah, that was great. Great to
Yaddle
be in
is
the
a
audience
queen.
for that. Yaddle, we all love a Yaddle cheer.
Yeah. And then we also saw a red lightsaber wielding character with a mask fighting Ahsoka. We assume this is either an interpretation or potentially a retcon of the Ahsoka book. Not sure what they're going to do there, but we'll see. Overall, though, Tales looks perfect. And we've actually talked about this series so much on the podcast without knowing anything about it. And so it felt right, me and you being there in the room when they finally
that's true.
spill the beans. But yeah, what do you think of the episode? What do you think of just this whole series as a concept?
Well, I gotta say, I gotta give it to Ari because when everyone else was laughing, like, "Oh, it's a logo off a packaging piece," Ari was out there reporting the news. He was, it's very slow news, but he was out there reporting it, and he's the one that really turned my attention to Jedi Tales. Like, it's gonna be some, and yeah, he was right. It was something. I thought could have been like Force of Destiny or something, but I said this at Celebration, but like. I really think that and I used to be a Force of Destiny hater just because I
Oh
didn't
no,
understand the
let's
concept.
not go back to your villain origin story.
No,
Let's
I just
you've
it's
been
just
redeemed. Let's just leave it that way.
it's just amazing to me how far, like, I love seeing Dave Filoni play, because this is what this is. They're like standalone stories, and it was amazing seeing like Dave Filoni not really so much direct all those episodes, but like kind of just oversee and kind of get the projects moving
Yeah.
along.
Well, he wrote
Play
them all.
for Force of Destiny
Oh, you're
or
talking about
here.
Force of
Yeah,
Destiny.
I'm still talking about Force of
Yeah,
Destiny.
right. My
No,
bad.
but Tales of the Jedi. But like seeing him go from that, like seeing him manage all that, Force of Destiny, and everybody, oh, everyone laughed, YouTube Shorts, whatever for kids. But it's like amazing to see like that type of like him playing in that field, and then being like, you know what, I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna do it in Clone Wars style, and that's exactly what I loved. So seeing him do that, it was just seeing everything come full circle, like years apart, was absolutely great.
Mm.
So anyways, Tales of the Jedi, amazing. The trailer was great. I can't even believe they let us watch a whole 22-minute episode. That was insane. I thought the episode, it reminded me of those Studio Ghibli, the anime stuff, where they're just like kind of standalone stories type situations. But I don't know, like I just love how inspired it felt. Like, yeah, it did feel like, oh my god, we're going and telling Ahsoka's like birth story, but there was a lot of nuance to it, and also like I said, it just felt very inspired, where it just felt like I felt like we kind of needed to learn to know this story. My opinion might change when I watch it again, but just being there was like, oh my god, it was amazing. And I love when Star Wars has those slow moments where it's not like
Yeah.
much talking, because you barely got dialogue in here.
Mm.
And it was just
Yeah.
more about the music, scenery, and sound effects, and it just blended all well together, where that's where the story was, because we are dealing with a younger Ahsoka, so there's not much dialogue. So yeah, it was really inspiring to sit there and watch, and by the end, it was just like, wow, that was great. So the fact that they're doing more of these, like just more standalone stories, they have a point and they're getting right to the point. I love that. I love that. I just, I don't know, what we saw was just absolutely hype. It felt like we were back in the Clone Wars era, but like in new animation. I mean, we saw Anakin and Ahsoka in their seasons 1 and 2 get up, and I was like in the trailer, and I was like, oh my god, this is so surreal. I feel like I'm back in 2009, but looking at it from a new animated, they just got a glow up. So I think True said, he said like these were, or him and I were talking about this. We were like, oh my god, this is like Tales, or I'm sorry, Lost Missions season 2,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
will. Like this is just, we're just going back in time and telling stories. And I mean, it just proved, this is, you guys all picked a great era to do this in, because the Clone Wars eras and prequel era in general is just very expansive. And I love that we're going back and telling Dooku stories, and whatever Dooku and Qui-Gon stuff we got in Master and Apprentice. When I saw that on screen, I was like, oh my god, give me that, give me that. So yeah, I think everyone should be really excited for this. I mean, Clone Wars fan or not, I mean, we're going in the prequel era, as Ari said. We're dealing with Terrace Anube, Yaddle, and dude, who doesn't love Dooku and Qui-Gon? We're gonna get to actually see them
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
on screen. When has that happened? So I'm very, very excited for all that. So, man, bring on Tales of the Jedi. Don't know how this is gonna fit with Andor premiering in early fall. Then we got
It's
Bad
gonna be
Batch,
a
and we got
packed
Tales of the
back end
Jedi.
of the
It's just gonna
year.
be absolutely packed. Are we
Yeah.
still gonna be podcasting week to week? We don't know. We might have burned out and died.
We're gonna be podcasting 3 times a week by the sounds of it.
Oh no. But but
Andor, Tales of
seriously,
the Jedi, Bad Batch review all in the same week.
Ari, we before even Celebration, we're like, oh, Obi-Wan Andor, get on the train after Book of Boba Fett. We're like, we hit a little pause, and we're telling everybody, get on the train, because we're gonna have lots of cover. Joke's on us, because that's actually not until fall, so we'll see how we handle all that. But seriously, you
Yeah,
guys, if
true.
you're on YouTube, subscribe, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, subscribe, because you're not going to want to miss our exclusive and special breakdowns and all the guests that we have, breaking down all the episodes and stuff like that. So don't go anywhere. But yeah, animation,
Yep,
Star Wars animation,
absolutely.
going hard, love it.
Yep. And going on with Star Wars animation, the Bad Batch was also another panel Mike and I attended, and Another fantastic panel and another awesome trailer. And yeah, we got just to talk about the panel for a second. Michelle Ang, D. Bradley Baker, awesome. They were like going in and out of their character voices. Or I think Michelle Ang actually just like sounds like Omega, which of course she does, just the voice actor. But that was cool. Anyway, so yeah, Bad Batch, as we mentioned, releasing in fall this year. Exclusively for people in the room. There was a new scene. It was just sort of showing off the new designs and sort of a first look at the season. Nothing much to it. Just the Batch were getting chased by a bunch of crabs, pretty much. So
it was great.
But yeah, it looked fun. It just looked like classic Bad Batch, to be honest. And yeah, as I mentioned, they do have a new look. That's out on the interwebs. You can go have a look at them. They're looking nice as always. And then yeah, so it will be 16 episodes. So adding on to that, I don't know how they're going to do this whole release schedule, but that is that will remain to be seen. And then the trailer, of course, they did release a trailer publicly, but it was only like half of the trailer that we actually saw in the room. So in the one they released publicly, we saw, actually, honestly, I'm not too sure what the difference is between them both. I haven't really compared them. But in the one we saw, at least, we saw Gungi, and I know he was definitely in the publicly released one. And Gungi, wow. I mean, what a surprise. What a surprise. The reaction in the room for that was almost on par with the Sabine thing in the Ahsoka room. That was just insane. Blew the roof off, which just because out of complete shock, like I don't think anyone there was like, oh, Bad Batch trailer. I wonder if Gungi's going to be in this.
Right.
Like, or Gungi. Sorry, I know that's a whole debate.
Yeah, I was about people are going to come for you in the comments.
But yeah. I'm sticking with Gungi because I just prefer it, and I think it's funny.
No.
But yeah, Gungi and you know who else was in there? Cody, awesome. I think that was someone who people did expect, so that was very cool to see. He also got a huge cheer, and he's looking a bit, I guess, not totally on board with the Empire.
He's on the fence.
He was starting to question it, talking to Crosshair, and of course, Crosshair still being his stubborn self, and the Empire is all the way. All that sort of stuff. And yeah, of course, Sid seems to still be involved, which is interesting because season 1 is easy to watch, except when she's in the frame. Anyway, no, I'm joking. Sid is just not my cup of tea. But anyway,
he's entering his villain arc again.
Yeah, she seems to still be floating around with the Batch. We'll see what goes on with that. And then the final shot of the trailer we watched, but not the. Actually, I don't even know the difference between the two. But Omega and Palpatine in the same room, which was bizarre to see. But yeah, a lot to sort of unpack there. But yeah, Mike, what did you think of the panel? What did you think of the trailer? How are you feeling about the Bad Batch?
Panel was funny because it just, and they would do this for Rebels a lot too, but they were still enjoyable. And I mean, it was still an enjoyable, because I love watching the Rebels panels because you had all the cast. You had Freddie, Tia Sakar, Taylor Gray, Stephen Bloom, Vanessa Marshall. You had all of them. You had the family, and it was cool seeing the repertoire and just the synergy amongst them all. It's just like, oh, having dinner with the fam. Loved it. But here you had the voice actress for Omega, Michelle, and obviously Bradley there, and the more of the writers and crew of the series. So it's just. And we got a live performance from Omega and the entire Bad Batch. And seeing how that worked out, it was great. But it just felt, I'm like, we know we're getting a trailer. Just speed it up. It just felt like that. But it was cool them touching on some things of the season and stuff like that. But when we finally got to the trailer, me and True, oh my God, we went absolutely, like, I think I lost my voice after that, screaming. Because I don't know a bigger Clone Wars fan other than myself, other than True. Like both of us just like grew up with that series, and we've talked about it ad nauseum with each other about, like, oh my God, would it be so cool? We got seasons 8 and 9 and whatever, and like this arc animated and whatnot. So actually to see, classic Clone Wars characters like Gungi, who we just spent an arc on, and we saw a little sneak peek at the season 5 finale. It was just amazing to have him in there. And it was like, oh my God, they're really doing it. And then having Cody in there as well. Just, yeah, me and True just I don't thought I thought either my chair was gonna break or his, because that one was just we both just started screaming at the top of our lungs. But yeah, we were shown a different trailer, so we actually did a fresh rundown of that on our YouTube channel. So check that out at the Star Wars Exchange. We after literally after the panel, we went straight to the media room that was reserved for us, and we recorded a breakdown. So you guys should go check that out on our YouTube channel. But yeah, that trailer was like nuts, and it's funny because it got such a a rise from everyone that they immediately didn't have to ask like, should we show it again? They started to shut everybody up. They just played it again, and that was perfect. So yeah, that oh my god, that was insane. So yeah, I was looking forward to this Bad Batch panel, but I was not expecting it to be that completely off the roof. I thought maybe we would have gotten a similar trailer that we got for Fallen or Jedi Survivor. That's gonna take a while to say, but I thought we were gonna get a similar trailer for that, but no, they went all in. Like this felt like one of the like Rebels trailers where they start showing you like the storylines and stuff of the upcoming, of the upcoming season. So yeah, Palpatine Omega together, what's going on, Crosshair, and we also saw the memorial side of Geonosis, of all those that fell during the Battle of Geonosis. We saw that, so they're back on Coruscant. So we got Andor going to Coruscant, we got Bad Batch going to Coruscant, Tales of the Jedi going to Coruscant. It's a good time to be a Star Wars fan, a Star Wars prequel fan. But yeah, I'm very curious as to they alluded some things with Cody being like, are we really doing any good in the galaxy? And it's like, oh, like where is this going? So yeah, obviously highlights of the trailer, Gungi, Cody, and Palpatine, amazing. Because in season 1 we only got a Palpatine in the hologram in the very first episode, Aftermath, and I was seeing him in full flesh talking to Omega. What's in store for Omega? What purpose does she serve? What's going on? Why is Palpatine involved? So very cool stuff. And we also, I think we got a shot of Scorch, the Clone Commando, as well in the exclusive trailer, I think. Or maybe it was released for everybody, don't know. But we saw him up in there, and it was like, oh my god, I think that's his name. But yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, just expect greatness from Bad Batch. I think this season, they're gonna. I think first season they were like kind of directionless, being like, okay, we kind of know where we're going, we kind of don't. But this time, just by the looks of the trailer, it looks like they're solidifying the path and going full steam ahead with it. So be ready.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Like there was just so much going on there. It was so hard to digest at the time because that panel was on the last day as well. So already there was just so much going on with other, corners of the galaxy. And then this all happened and it was just insane. Like it's still hard to fathom, but hype for that show has gone so high up. I actually just really recently, actually just before Celebration, rewatched season 1 and I was like, okay. Rewatching it like that really got me, it gave me more appreciation for the first season and got me super hyped for the second season. So the fact that they're just going like off the rails with it, bringing back. Well, I mean, everyone always was like, yeah, Bad Batch, clearly a Clone Wars sequel almost. Like in that first episode, they make it such a point. It's like the Clone Wars logo like burns into the Bad Batch one. So yeah, good to see them. But I think it's similar to Rebels in that sense because Rebels, Dave Filoni has said that he's grateful for it because it helped him complete the Clone Wars, because at the time Clone Wars was not complete, and so just feels like another animated show, going off of what Clone Wars has set up really, and taking on these storylines like Gungi and Cody, and it's just it's insane. So can't wait to see how
Rex is back.
Yeah, Rex of course. Yeah. So
but yeah.
A lot going on there. But yeah, so a lot of other little things. I mean, I guess this isn't really little at all because it's a whole new series, but a few things to touch on before we wrap up. So Skeleton Crew, a whole new series that we heard. This was a very strange announcement. They like announced it in a magazine saying like, oh yeah, John Watts has a Star Wars series coming. And then they just sort of brought him out. I was like, oh yeah, so my show is called Skeleton Crew. And then he sort of briefly described it. It's about kids, but they immediately said, but it's not for kids. So whatever you want to make of that, that's what they said. Jude Law will appear. We got a tiny little concept art type of image shown, which really gave away nothing, but it looked cool. And it is in the Mandalorian timeline. So yeah, I think this series looks sounds solid. We really don't know much, but I like the perspective of like just kids roaming around the galaxy, because what does that even look like? We sort of see it in an interesting way in the High Republic adventures. Like, that's not really a medium that most people listening to this podcast would probably consume. So it's nice to see that really be shown on like the forefront in a live action show. So I'm excited for this. Mike, what do you think? Do you like the sounds of Skeleton Crew?
Yeah, very random announcements. It just seemed like it just came in, and they came in and were like, "Oh, we're doing this with our series." But dude, I was not looking forward to this series at all. But then when I saw that concept art image, and then the imagination starts running, and I thought of the way they pitched this series in the first place as an Amblin classic film, and people have rumored this to kind of have that Stranger Things vibe, and where it's for kids but not for kids. Because as you see Stranger Things on the posters, it's like all these kids, but you wouldn't tell your kids to watch the show because it's not for kids. So maybe that's what they
Yeah.
meant. Maybe it's more
Well,
of that
remember
type of.
ages ago when it was getting rumored, they called it Stranger Things in Space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
That's so. And a new season of that came out, and I would just so love if that was with Star Wars, if they were doing something like that. Yeah, the way they pitched it was kids lost. They were like far from home, no pun intended for John Watts there. But yeah, his Spider-Man film, get it. Anyways, but these kids like lost in the galaxy, and they're trying to find their way back home or something. And along the way, they find an adventure, and then you have like this adult present with them. Again, sounds like Stranger Things, but not really on the lost part. But yeah, by the concept art, like I said, I just started thinking of all the possibilities. And also you had at the end, you had John Favreau being like, and also the series is connected, or one of them, someone said that the series was connected to the Mandalorian timeline in ways we wouldn't think, whatever that means. So yeah, I'm kind of, I'm invested. I'm like, oh, we need a little mix up here. Not excited about being in the Mandalorian timeline because who cares? But
Yeah,
in terms
I
of like,
agree. That was the one thing that I was just like, I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
care.
I don't,
The
I don't care.
Mandalorian is the Mandalorian. Everything else around it is
Right.
its
You
own
don't
thing.
gotta.
Just let it be
It,
its
it,
own thing.
it kind of feels like to me when they're pitching like maybe a show like Moon Knight that just came out with Oscar Isaac, and they're like, they don't know how other to like pitch it to you, so they're like, it's part of the MCU, so you gotta watch it type deal. That's
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
felt like to me. So I didn't care that they said that, but yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then the final thing that completely flew over my head, I think you told me at one stage that this was a thing, and I was like, great, don't care, because like, we were just going on about everything else. But when I finally got to sit down and sort of dissect all the news, I thought, oh, this is cool. So it's a kid series. It's called Young Jedi Adventures. Nothing much to expect here, however. It's an animated series taking place in the High Republic, which is super exciting because we thought maybe Tales of the Jedi would give us some, animated High Republic, but no, this series will. So even though it's, it'll be presented for kids, which is fine. Star Wars is for kids. Yeah, it's going to be cool to finally see some High Republic on the screen. Although I did, I don't know if we're going to see the characters that we know and love from the books, because when asked if any of those characters would appear in this series, the only character they said was Yoda, which, I mean, obviously we all know Yoda. So that's interesting. I guess we'll see what happens. And then this show will come out spring 2023. But yeah, Mike, do you have anything to say about Young Jedi Adventures?
Is it premiering on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Is it? My one takeaway here is oh yeah, because it's also premiering on Disney Junior or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be this is not gonna be like, I don't even think Forces of Destiny level, but I think lower in terms of like for kids, because it's gonna premiere alongside like Doc McMuffins and the Paw Patrol. So take that for what you will. But the only thing I say is hope it's 3D animation and not like 2D, something that they would throw up on YouTube. Not saying
I'm
that
pretty sure they confirmed that it is
it's
3D.
2D.
3D.
3D. Okay,
I'm
not
pretty sure.
I love 2D. I'm a 2D stan, but I'm just saying sometimes what they throw up on YouTube is just all 2D. Not saying that's less anything not any more difficult, or it's still art, but it's like give High Republic something that looks really appealing to today's generation, where they could watch and entice all those little kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I love that High Republic is getting an anime series.
Definitely. And the final bit of news, that we heard at Celebration, we were in the room for, I mean, I guess somewhat disappointing. We were holding our cameras up and then they went straight down when we heard they bring Rupert Friend out to announce where the next celebration is. And it is next April, the 7th to the 10th in London. So, yeah, our reaction was both the same, sort of like, oh, but like, look, after after dissecting, I was sort of like, you know what, whatever. Like, so the reason we were disappointed is because it being in London means very, very unlikely that either of us will go, which is disappointing because, I mean, this year was only my first and I absolutely loved it. So I would love to come back to Celebration. But yeah, by the way, put one in Australia. I need to start a petition or something. If you can give Europe like 6 celebrations, but for every 6 you do in Europe, surely you can do one in Australia. Anyway, I won't go down that on that
Down
tangent.
that kangaroo hill.
But yeah, but no, it's in London. I'm just glad it's in less than a year. April next year should be good. But yeah, Mike, I guess you had a somewhat similar reaction.
I'll put this video up on our Instagram page. But by the way, our Instagram page hit 200 followers. So thank you guys for doing that. Yeah, check us out at the SW Exchange on Instagram. But I think I'm gonna post it on there. You and I were both recording because we're like, oh, here it goes, here it goes. They're gonna announce the next celebration. And word on the street was I was gonna be in Orlando, and we're like, okay, that works for me. That's a shorter trip for me from than going to Cali. But dude, the you should have seen me and Ari. Like, I'm not even kidding. For people on audio, earlier I was mimicking what Ari and I did when they announced the next location, because we were both had our hands up. We were recording, and as soon as the London fell on the screen, bam, our phones went down. But I mean, if they're going in a cycle here, if they're gonna do London next year, cool, and then bring it back to the States in Orlando and then Chicago. Okay. But as Ari said, yeah, that'd be cool to see it in Australia or New Zealand out there. Just make Star Wars global like that. It is global. There's fans out there in Australia like this guy, even though he's in
Believe
New
it or
York right
not,
now.
there are Star Wars fans outside of Europe and the US. I know
Shout
it's
out,
hard to believe, but guys, there actually is.
shout out Jasper. But yeah, he would.
Shout out Jasper.
He's the only one out there. No, but
Yeah.
there's fans out there, and take it worldwide. So I would love to see if one day Celebration goes down to Australia, down under. That would be amazing. But I mean, yeah, I'm okay with this because it means a chill year for next year. I can just watch, and
Yeah.
you get the better coverage sometimes at home. Not so much for this celebration, but
I realize it's probably easier. Yeah, this one's a bit of a different case because there was nothing on the live stream, but Celebration is probably easier to cover from home than at the event, because at the event you're just swept up in it and it's just an insane experience. A good one, but insane.
Insane. So yeah, cool. Happening less than a year. I wonder what projects are going to be happening. Outset from April. Like, are we going to get Ahsoka? Are we going to get Survivor around there? So yeah, they must be moving it back to April for a special reason. So I'm curious as to what that is and what's coming out in May and the following months after.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I don't know. For me personally, it was quite difficult to get to California, so London is even trickier. So next time they do in the States, I'll make an effort to go, and me and Mike can link back up and enjoy it again, because it was an awesome experience. As I said, we will do an episode talking about everything that happened at Celebration, not the news, just for us personally, our personal stories with it. If you guys are interested, that'll come out sometime in the next few weeks. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. That just about wraps up the conversation. If you haven't already, please drop a like, comment, rating, or review, depending on how you're listening. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all that. Anywhere podcasts are available, we're there. But yeah, make sure you keep up with us on our socials, our podcast page, as Mike just mentioned, the SW Exchange. But Mike, where can people find you on the socials?
You guys can find me at _Star Wars. Just posted my Celebration posts up there. Might post a couple more, I don't know. But as you saw, me and Ari are drinking similar cups because we went to Galaxy's Edge and we got a cool little merch from there, so to drink our blue milk in. So I'm also posting some Galaxy's Edge stuff on there. So y'all should
Yeah.
definitely partake in that. So yeah, follow me over there. And Ari, I know you're gonna be posting some more stuff. Where can people find you?
Definitely. Yep. At Star Wars _ exchange on Instagram and at the SW Exchange on Twitter. A lot of content coming from both of us and just the podcast, of course, in general. So stay tuned. We're keen to, throw a few more episodes out there for Kenobi and Celebration and everything. As always, it's just, the good old Stars Exchange. So thanks for watching. And as always, may the Force be with you. See you later.
Adios.